Hey guys, in this video we're going to talk about the Starks and what the final season holds for them, supportive leaked photos, trailer teasers, and of course a few theories and predictions of mine. By the word Starks I mean Bran, Arya, Sansa, and of course Jon, who is both a Stark and a Targaryen. With the arrival of Jon Snow and the crew at Winterfell, the Stark family will finally be fully reunited at their ancestral home. Jon Snow and Dany with their entire crews are currently headed north to prepare for the Great War that is coming even sooner than they expected. They're sailing towards White Harbor, the main seaport of the north with the Unsullied. Once they arrive over there, they'll meet the Trekkie on the King's Road and then ride together to Winterfell. Of course, all of this will likely take place off screen, and we'll probably only see all of them together approaching Winterfell in the very beginning of the first episode. Here we can see Arya falling in love with Danish dragons as they are flying towards Winterfell. Once Jon arrives at Winterfell, he'll have a heartbreaking reunion with his family, with Sansa, Arya and Bran, as well as with his friends and his direwolf ghost. Out of all the reunions, Jon's Sansa reunion is the first that's been officially confirmed to take place in the Season 8 premiere, with this Season 8 first look teaser in which we got to see a clip of Jon reuniting with his sister and Lady of Winterfell Sansa. The reason of Sansa glaring over Jon's shoulder turned out to be Dany. Having in mind that Sansa back in the second episode of the 7th season said that Dany doesn't want to help the North, but rather wants to conquer it, many fans are likely to assume that the Stark sisters, including the other Northern Lords, will not accept Dany as good as Jon did, but we might be wrong. Yes, there will be some tension between Sansa and Dany, until Sansa sees for herself who Dany truly is, and what her true intention is. However, there will be no intense moment between Arya and Dany. In fact, I think that Dany and Arya will get along very well, considering how both of them admire and respect strong and powerful women. Also, since Arya is passionate about Targaryen history and Aegon dragon riding sister wives as seen in Season 2, with Visenya Targaryen being her heroine, we can imagine she is predisposed to like and be fascinated by Dany and her dragons in Season 8, which this clip seems to be suggesting. Everyone is in fear of such beasts flying above them, but Arya Stark is happy to finally see one, well, two in fact, and soon enough the third one as well. The reunion we're the most excited about is the reunion between Jon and Arya. Arya and Jon have not seen each other since Season 1, when they had close sibling relationship, and they just missed each other in Season 7, which frustrated many fans. Still, seeing Jon with at least one of his sisters is promising, and if he is reuniting with Sansa, he'll also see and reunite with Arya. While it's easy to say that Jon will be proud but also blown away by how much Arya has grown as a fighter, it's also safe to say that Arya, unlike Sansa, will support Jon's decision of banning the knee to the Dragon Queen. In fact, I think that Dany and Arya will get along very well, considering how both of them admire and respect strong and powerful women. Anyways, beside reuniting with Jon Snow, I also expect Arya to reunite with Nymeria as well, at some point of the final season, most likely in episode 3. It has already been confirmed that we'll see more of the direwolves in the final season, meaning not only of Ghost, but of Ghost and Nymeria both. They're the only direwolves whose stories are not over yet, and they'll definitely have a role to play in the final 6 episodes. Nymeria might appear with her pack of wolves in episode 3, during the battle for Winterfell, and come to the Starks and her brother's Ghost's aid, or maybe to Arya's rescue. After reuniting with his sisters, Jon will also reunite with Bran. Bran is, beside Howland Reed and Sam, the only person who knows Jon's true lineage, and is the only living man who actually witnessed Jon's birth. Even though he has been waiting the whole season to reveal to Jon the truth, I don't think he will reveal it to Jon at their first meeting, and I don't think he will be the one to reveal it to him at all. An actor who plays Sam teased this about his character in Season 8. Sam is really feeling the responsibility of this information, but he knows Jon would rather hear this from Sam than anyone else. Is this a confirmation that Sam will be the one to reveal Jon the truth, or did he just say that to throw us away? You decide. Bran and Sam together discovered the truth, but Sam will probably be a better messenger, given Bran's detachment from his family and weird behavior ever since he became the Three-Eyed Raven. An actor who plays Bran teased this about his character. We see a slightly wiser Bran this year, who's less like Robot Overload. That's great to hear, but still the two will probably agree that it's better if Sam delivers this breaking news to Jon, and this clip seems to be in that exact moment. Jon and Sam will see each other for the very first time since Jon was killed and resurrected. Sam will probably be the one to reveal to Jon his true parentage, while Howland will likely finally appear in the current timeline and confirm these Sam statements to Jon, with some evidence. It's also possible that Sam might proclaim Jon Azor Ahai, a hero that was reborn amid smoke and salt, a hero that will wield the flaming sword to stand against the others, and if he falls, the world falls with him. In the Season 7 premiere, the show pointed out that the book Gilly picked up and began reading was a book about the Long Night, while the exact part she was reading was about the prophecy of Azor Ahai. I already made a video regarding which character might be this prophesied savior, but Jon, son of Ice and Fire, seems more and more to be the Lord's chosen. Anyways, upon finding out about Jon's true parentage in Season 7, which basically confirms that he's the son of Ice and Fire, and upon finding out about Jon's death and resurrection in the final season, it's quite possible that Sam will proclaim Jon Azor Ahai. I also believe that the book about the Long Night that Gilly was reading in Season 7 premiere will resurface in the final season, which would likely lead Sam to once again ask Bran if he's able to look back in time, but this time even beyond into the past, to see what exactly happened the last time the White Walkers came for the living. This is how Bran will play a huge role in the final season, as he will help Jon and Dany strategize for their first fight against the Night King and his army of the dead. This will most probably involve quite a few flashbacks, where we would learn a bit more about the White Walkers and their motivation. Now that all the Starks have reunited and are finally on the same place, it's time for Jon to reunite with Ghost as well. It's been confirmed that Ghost will finally return in Season 8. Let's hope he doesn't die in the battle for Winterfell. The Stark sister will also reunite with the Hound, which is going to be very nice, and Sansa will also reunite with Tyrion. There's one more character arriving in Winterfell with Jon and Dany. It's Gendry who will finally reunite with Arya. The two spent a lot of time together in earlier seasons, and both have grown to like and deeply care for one another. They will be happy to see one another alive and well. Perhaps their reunion might even give us a hint that Gendry's father's promise to Arya's father in Season 1 might finally be fulfilled. King Robert was talking about Joffrey, who he thought was his son, and Ned's daughter Sansa. However, this never happened, and therefore House Stark and Baratheon have not been joined yet. However, a huge amount of fans believe that this marriage might finally happen in the form of Robert's only son Gendry and Ned's daughter Arya. What we know for a fact is that the two will reunite in the final season, and it's going to be very interesting to see how their relationship will play out. Before the battle against the Night King that is set to take place in the third episode in which the Starks will be defending Winterfell, the Starks will have one more important reunion. It's the one with Jaime Lannister. Jaime's arrival at Winterfell was firstly teased by the official Season 8 photos, where we saw Jaime in Stark armor, that by the way looks exactly like Rob's, sitting in a room that, judging by the type of the wall in the background, seems to be located in Winterfell, and then the trailer confirmed it. Jaime will indeed arrive at Winterfell, likely in Episode 1 ending or Episode 2 beginning, and he will also fight for Winterfell against the Night King and his army. Bran will reunite with the man who tried to kill him, because he saw him having an intimate relationship with his sister. Obviously, we don't expect from the Starks to execute Jaime for this. After all, Jon Snow and Dany invited the Lannisters to come and support the living in the wars to come. Jaime agreed and honored this pledge, meaning that no harm would Jon do to him, nor would he allow anyone else to do so. Starks are not the phrase, that's not their way. Bran will likely forgive Jaime, and this one will probably save Bran's life in Episode 3, during battle for Winterfell. Kit Harington teased about his character Jon Snow. The end of the world might be coming soon, but at least he's in love with somebody and he knows who he is. And then comes a sledgehammer. His parentage reveal will be a huge blow to Jon and his relationship with Dany, and it's not surprising. A sledgehammer to Jon will likely come from Bran, or even more likely from Sam. Once Jon learns he's a Targaryen, which basically means he and Dany are related as Rhaegar is his father and Dany is Rhaegar's sister, the other news will hit him: Dany is carrying his child. It has been highlighted numerous times during Season 7 that Dany believes she can no longer have children because of a prophecy that was told to her by Mirri Maz Duur in Season 1 finale. Even though Dany does believe in this prophecy, as Jon Snow pointed out himself, it may not be entirely true. Additionally, so many people have talked about Dany's ability to have children in so many scenes that it seems like Jon and Dany having a baby is not even questionable, but was rather foreshadowed. How I see Jon learning this is through Dany, of course, and probably in the crypts of Winterfell. We don't have many Stark leaks from Episode 3, except for Arya and Jon fighting fiercely for their home and something, likely the dead Stark resurrected by the Night King from the crypts chasing Arya through the halls of Winterfell, but I guess we don't really need many leaks. The Night King is attacking Winterfell and Starks are defending it. All I hope is that Jon and Arya will fight alongside their direwolves Ghost and Nymeria, and the direwolves don't actually end up sacrificing themselves for their masters. What we do know, however, is the winter will not fall at Winterfell. This battle will be a huge defeat for the Starks, and the living all the same. Winterfell is on fire, the Night King has won, but don't worry, the Starks and most of the main characters will survive. As you might expect, this battle will leave many dead. Check out this image of lifeless bodies strewn across the ground outside the Winterfell set at Moneyglass, which is just one of a bunch. So the Starks survived the most dangerous place to be in Episode 3, the place attacked by 100,000 strong army of the dead led by the Night King, and then in Episode 4 one of them, which is Jon Snow of course, goes to the second most dangerous place ruled by Cersei Lannister. Jon Snow will come back to King's Landing in Episode 4. Cersei and Jon Snow meet one-on-one in King's Landing. Well, not exactly one-on-one, as Cersei has the Mountain and Queensguard around. Is Jon coming to plead with Cersei and once again ask her to provide them with troops, or is he trying to convince Cersei to let them all in, to make their final stand in King's Landing? There are many possibilities. Speaking of Jon, it's also very likely that he will ride a dragon named after his father Rhaegal. In the trailer, we see Jon and Dany approaching Drogon and Rhaegal. We know Dany is obviously headed to ride Drogon, and seemingly Jon is headed to ride the other one. Many fans have been wondering how will Jon react to the fact that he's a Targaryen. Will he be fighting for House Targaryen or House Stark? The question which was in fact already answered by Jon Snow in Season 7. Jon said to Theon, "You don't have to choose. You're a Stark and you're a Greyjoy." Jon is a Targaryen and a Stark. There's little to none we know about the Stark's whereabouts after Episode 3. Sophie Turner, who plays Sansa, teased that Sansa this season is very much enjoying becoming a leader in her own right, and this year there are certain challenges by people who threaten that. Given what we have seen so far and what information we have received, this conflict will firstly be with Dany, as Sansa will not accept her as good as Jon did, or as good as Arya will. There will be some tension between them in the first episode or two. But this could also mean that Sansa might also make a move against her biggest enemy, Cersei Lannister. We'll see. As for Arya, Maisie Williams states there's this split with Arya between trying to be who she wants to be, getting back to that naivete and innocence with her family, and her unfinished business. What this means is that Arya will stick with her family and fight for Winterfell against the Night King in Episode 3. But when Winterfell falls and when Arya learns of Cersei's yet another betrayal over her family, she'll have to say a temporary goodbye to her family and go to finish her infamous list. There's a high possibility that Arya will travel to King's Landing to put an end to Cersei, or at least to try. Regarding the Stark's endgame, Bran and Jon will obviously be crucial in stopping the Night King, Bran with his visions and Jon actually fighting the Night King. I believe all the Starks will survive Game of Thrones, with Jon probably ruling Westeros at the end, together with Dany. Bran is the three-eyed raven. Sansa will probably end up at Winterfell as its lady, renovate it and rule it after the Great War is over. As of Arya, we'll expect her to either die in a battle, or to live out her days as an assassin adventurer, and that's why probably neither of this will happen. It will be too predictable. Her getting a happy ending and living her life as the proper lady she never wanted to be will be a huge twist. Arya will most likely end up marrying Gendry and live out her days raising their children in a castle. "I have a son, you have a daughter, we'll join our houses," is the quote that's always been on my mind. Whilst Ned was killed in Season 1, which set off the events for the series, I cannot help but think that Ned did foreshadow this marriage when he told Arya that she will marry a High Lord and rule his castle. Just as Robert wanted back in the first season, the houses Baratheon and Stark will probably join through his son and Ned's daughter, just not through the ones he and Ned thought. There you have it guys, the fate of House Stark in the final season of Game of Thrones. If I missed something, please let me know in the comment section, and of course let me know your thoughts about everything said in this video. And as always, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to subscribe to our channel and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.